Hi, my name is Tossif Sarker.
Hi, my name is Will Akinlade, and this week in Tech Talk, we have the article U.S. officials say 40% of the nation's energy could be solar by 2035.
Do you
I
think
think
that's
that's an
a
amazing thing.
you think that's an amazing
So,
idea?
yeah, I think it is.
You think that's
My company,
mm-hmm.
Billy
Go ahead, my bad.
Billy Simulations, currently runs completely on solar. So, it would be amazing if the rest of the world could catch up.
Okay, yeah. So does my company. Even though we just do engineering consultation, the building that I work in has. But
so
I was wondering if it's feasible. Like looking at this article, 2035, it's 2021 right now, so that's giving us 14 years to be forty
yeah,
percent
14
efficient.
years 14 years, and it says it has to grow at about four times the pace that it's currently growing at. So feasible in 14 years, I think it is at the rate that we're growing in technology.
I don't.
Has it
Mhm.
technically been 20 years since we had the internet?
Right, but everything's exponentially growing. And the vibe I'm getting from the article is that like this is kind of a positive thing. Oh, like the US will be 40% uh, dependent on solar energy, or they'll be moving to solar energy by 2035. Yay, but that's 14 years to be less than 50% dependent on that type of energy. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
but
not
you have
soon
to
enough.
think you have to think that like there are other forms of energy that we do use that's not solar. There is a high usage of hydro energy right now. It's actually not as small as you think. So I think in that terms we would at least have a good amount of renewable energy by 2021. Since solar itself is going to be 40%, I think the amount that we're using that is harmful to the planet is going to be, I don't know, around 20% or lower by that point.
You know, I
So
was um I was thinking solar energy is besides the requirement of like the material needed to make solar panels is it's a pretty good renewable resource. Whereas you mentioned hydro electricity and stuff like that, like those types of renewable energy, they do provide substantial amount of energy, but there's a lot of input needed to make those, and there's a big environmental um, impact as well. Like wind turbines with windmills, like they rely on really heavily windy areas, and I think wind turbines and windmills are bird slaughterers. um, and But solar, I mean solar. I'm referring to another article that I read like a while back, where solar is like
yeah,
pretty good, but I feel like we need
I
to increase that
I
fast.
heard that solar is also bird murderers. Uh, an article that I worked on in the past, that the flare from the reflections of the sun on the panels have done well in murdering a lot of birds. That's what I had heard back then. So I think either way, there will be some birds dying in this you know
Yeah.
in this path in the future. But
But let's go back to the
yeah,
topic where it says like this is going to be feasible, and then it's going to be feasible with the amount of time and the government input being
I think so.
you,
I think so.
like if
I
the
think
government
the
gave us money and tax credits and made it
so
likable.
that point, tax credits, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's coming from the people, right?
Yeah, it has to be right. It's taken away
Yeah,
from something that's going to be used for something else. I can see that.
yeah. And I don't know, the amount that we already pay in taxes is very high.
It's a
you know.
different discussion.
So
We'll talk about
yeah,
taxes.
but thinking about that, it's like I don't know how I don't know how feasible it is that people are gonna want that when you think about how much it's gonna cost in tax credits. Because I know just to get solar panels installed in your home is already a lot of money. So having it replaced, and that's right now it's just 3%, right? And then having it turn to 40%, that's gonna be a lot that you're gonna have to take through taxes. And so I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be a huge increase.
Right, right.
That
Interesting.
kind of shakes the feasibility a little bit, but I do hope that we end up there.
Yeah,
You
same
know.
here. Because it's not living in North Jersey, seeing these power plants and the electrical grid here. It would be really nice if we did something more renewable without having like
Yeah.
North Jersey vibes.
Yeah.
You want to
Also,
move
right
on?
now
Uh huh.
the weather has not been perfect for solar energy.
No. Right,
Yeah,
right. You have to
but
consider the area you live in.
yeah. On the second topic, it was the article Boston Dynamics Atlas tackles parkour and the Tesla Android.
Oh, this one's a good one. This one's Terminator vibes. I'm getting Terminator vibes from this.
Exactly. So
Like,
I think I had watched a video by MKBHD discussing actually the new Tesla robot. And something that was interesting in his video was the fact that we keep pushing to make these humanoid robots, but humanoid robots don't really have that great of a function in society. So he was talking about if you want a robot to do something for you, the right path to that is making the item that you want to be done the robot. So, you want your food heated, you made a microwave. You want your floor cleaned, you made a Roomba. So having the robot do the
instead of
function.
a robot that sweeps, like a humanoid looking
Exactly.
robot that
E-
sweeps.
Exactly. Because he was saying the and he had a talk with
A robot.
Musk, actually, with
Oh.
Musk.
Oh, robot. A living
No.
robot.
No, he talked with Musk recently about those functioning robots, like how his robots function and everything. And Elon was talking about how it would be really hard to get them to do the basic things that humans do, and just pinching being one, because they don't know the force to pinch with. And so
Right.
the only thing that you can get them to do is really just move things. So just humanoid being so clunky, it doesn't really seem that necessary to have humanoid robots, right? And they
Yeah.
have the ones in Boston Dynamics flipping and
Right. It was
and
doing
running.
gymnastics.
Exactly.
In
It
what
seems like their use is
application?
more on the battlefield than
I was
helping
gonna say
us.
military robots, right? Like you'd be able to, but
Exactly.
at that point you can just have them look like a machine gun on wheels, like a tank, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I don't.
So now that I
And
think about it, that's a good point that you brought up. Like, what's the application of these humanoid-looking robots besides like aesthetics?
exactly. I don't see a huge application for them besides aesthetics. And the Tesla robot, I know Musk actually said that he's made them. I can't remember the speed. It was very slow. I believe 10 miles per hour is their top speed.
Oh my
So
God!
that
If they go any faster, I'm
so
going. I'm leaving Earth and going to
exact
Mars.
yeah, he was saying because he didn't want humans to have that fear that they eventually, when they get aggressive, they would be able to catch us and stuff. So the speed was 10 miles per
They're
hour.
definitely catching me though. I can't run more than 10 miles an hour. Probably less than.
It's, I guess the whole point to having this is to make those remedial tasks for humans like lesser. But at the end of the day, that does bring the fear of, oh, they're gonna take over human tasks in the factory. But they
Right?
can't necessarily take that over because those tasks, we do have robots already in the factories, but you need humans for certain tasks because a robot can't sense those things. No matter how smart you make them, they're just certain things that you need a human to do.
Right,
I
right.
feel.
Well, going back a little bit more, it is like a great engineering feat with computers and mechanical parts that they're able to create like these robots, and with like the computational power that they're gonna exhibit. Like there's so many other possibilities. Like whatever they're gonna devote the time and energy to create these robots, they can start looking at other applications. Like for example, Tesla's robot was actually derived from like their AI system in the cars, right? So just to when they create this humanoid robot, they can probably think of other applications, like maybe a very intelligent machine that could improve the lives of others. Rather, I mean, it doesn't have to look like a human, but I'm just really impressed with the like all the technology that went into creating these robots and
Yeah.
how they function. Even though
Yeah.
Tesla
So
isn't fully out there yet.
with that, I feel like it was more of just showing off that technology rather than making something really useful,
Tesla
like
was showing
making the
off.
robot itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boston Dynamics was just
Um.
scary. I'm like, yo, this thing did a whole backflip.
No, I saw a video once where it was holding a gun. They were like
Oh!
throwing rocks at it, and then the it was holding a gun and it chased them outside. But I know it was just a funny video. Um,
Oh no.
the last article we have is, why do automotive connectors fail?
Yeah, so I want to bring up a personal experience. So, when I was car shopping for my car, I wanted to buy one that like represented me the most, right? So I wanted something a little bit sporty, a little classy, not too expensive. But the car that I got, the manufacturer, was known for electrical parts being like the electrical parts were known to fail often because of the type of material that they used and maybe the manufacturability, not manufacturability, but the quality of the wiring and the build. Um, so luckily, I haven't dealt with any electrical issues with my car, but I've read on like many articles on my specific car and what usually tends to fail, like sensors, um, mostly sensors, maybe like the lighting, the electrical parts of the car. So this was really interesting to read because now I'm understanding a little bit more as to why they fail. And it's nothing like it's not direct. It's not like the engineer didn't uh, consider that the wiring or the car will be in a very cold, or not even a frozen area, but like a very cold area for most of its life. It's not like the engineer didn't consider that factor, but in the video and then in the article they mentioned like one example of, oh, does the manufacturer know that the car is going to be driven by some person who likes to go mudding or trekking in mud and have their foot on the tow bar or the tow bar for like moisture and dirt to build up a lot in that area. Um, so it was quite interesting to read in my end, which is why I picked it. Well,
Yeah, yeah, you took that over. Yeah, it was interesting to read. Yeah, just knowing that those connectors do control basically your car working at all. And if their connectivity fails, not the connectivity, what am I saying? Their conductivity fails, that's the end of your car completely.
kind of, yeah.
Um,
It's hard to replace those. Like Will, you're driving
yeah.
now, right? So like you have your car, and imagine like you turn on the windshield. Oh no, even this, like you put on like your left turn signal and it's blinking on your dashboard, but it's not blinking in real life. Like it's not blinking in the back or the front. You're like, oh, I gotta like go fix these connections, and usually it's a contact issue, right? It's like the sensor and your actuator, they're not communicating, and
Yeah.
it's usually a sensor issue. So it was
Yeah.
really nice to know, and I really wish car manufacturers really I mean, there's no way around it, right? Because these cars are exposed to the environment 24/7, right? Like maybe like 1% of car owners own a garage where they can keep their car in like perfect condition, but whereas everybody else they have their cars out in the wild per se. Like that hurricane that happened recently up here,
Yeah.
in North Jersey. Like all these cars were flooded in, right? And my friend has a Tesla and his car got flooded into, and the battery base is underneath. So all those conductors and whatnot, all those electrical components in the car are wet, and I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know if his car still works. I haven't even hit him up, but his car was flooded in. He had a Tesla, like I think a Model 3, and half the like up to the bottom of the steering wheel had water in it, right? and
Hopefully
and the
insurance covers
battery
that.
hopefully it does, right? But knowing how Teslas are made, the electrical part or the battery is at the bottom of the car, so it was 100%
Yeah.
submerged in the car. And you being an electrical engineer, you tell me, like, do you think that car's still alive?
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know.
It would. That's the thing. I guess with Teslas they'll probably have their way of fixing them, but it would be harder if it was just like a normal car for them to get that out and still be able to work the system. Like it's to just replace that and everything be working fine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Hopefully, you
yeah.
can put the car in rice or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully his insurance covers that and he could just get a new one. Yeah, so that's what we have today for Tech Talk. Thank you
Thank you
for
everyone.
tuning in.
Dr.
And we'll
Ranky.
catch you later. Goodbye.
Okay.